Okay. So we got the name Tiger Nation. Got introducing ourselves. We got Carson.
Jacob.
Say, Caleb.
Vaughn.
Coach Arendall.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question we're gonna ask is we're gonna ask how long you've been principaling, like in schools.
Yeah, this is my first year, so started in August. This is so a couple of months really. That's my first year as being a principal or assistant principal. Before that, I was at the high school for 14, 15 years teaching and coaching there.
That's big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
So, what do you coach?
Well, while I was at the high school, I coached baseball and football, softball. I actually started out coaching softball my first year, and then I got into coaching baseball as assistant coach there for a couple of years, and I became the head coach. Actually, Coach Nix actually played for me for a couple of years when I was the head coach.
That's interesting.
I was the always coached football. And then the last 5 years, I was the defensive coordinator for the football team. And I coached 1 year, I coached basketball. So I've coached a little bit of everything. Yeah.
yeah, that baseball season, y'all have always had good years.
We did. We went 2 years. We went to the sub-state game. We won the region and got to play at home back-to-back years. It's the only time that's ever been done.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't.
interesting.
I think it was 1 or 2 years ago. Y'all, the football team went like 9-1 or something like
We
that.
did. And last year we went undefeated for the first time in Hardin County history. We went 10-0. Won our first playoff game, and then lost in the second round to a team that ended up going on and playing in the state championship game. 2 years in a row we played in the quarterfinal game, which is further than any other Hardin County team has been, and we got to do that back-to-back years as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question. What do you like about teaching?
What do I like about teaching?
Yeah, teaching and coaching.
Well, the first thing that I really like is being able to be around, guys like you and girls, and being able to see you guys, helping you get through problems, helping you get through issues, and kind of getting you guys headed in the right direction and seeing you guys succeed. That's the most important thing to me. It's being able. I had really good teachers in school growing up, and they helped me not only with work and things, but things going on personally in my life, and being able to help people and help you guys and kind of learn you, right, teach you from my mistakes, that way you guys don't make the same ones. Just helping you guys through that learning process, growing up, being young adults.
Giving good lifetime opportunities.
Absolutely, because I made a lot of mistakes myself. That's why I can tell you guys, not to make the same ones I did.
Everybody makes mistakes, but gotta
Absolutely.
learn from them.
You got to learn from them. That's right, or it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jacob, you could ask your question if you have one.
What grade did you teach when you were at the high school?
For the most part, I taught
Yeah.
freshmen and sophomores. I had a couple of classes where they were just strictly just juniors, and then I also had a couple of classes I taught personal finance for a few years, and it was all seniors. So I've taught 9th through 12th grade. Taught them all.
I remember you were close to where my dad worked.
I was right across the hall from your dad.
I
Sure
remember
was.
that. I used
Mhm.
to go over to his classroom and
Yep.
hang out with you and my dad
Yep.
talking about stuff.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yep.
What is your best word of advice to students?
My best word of advice, and we kind of touched on it there a little bit, is everybody does make mistakes, but you just got to learn from your mistakes. Because if you continue to make the same mistake over and over and over again, it becomes a habit, good or bad. And we want to take those bad habits and not make them anymore, right? And learn from our mistakes and not do those again. And that's I think that's very important. Also, you got to watch who you hang out with. One thing I've always liked to say is you think about the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? You become an average of those 5 people, right? Whether they have a good influence, bad influence, family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, doesn't matter. you become an average of those 5 people that you spend the most time with, and you need to think about, do they have a positive influence on you or a negative influence on you?
So what you're saying is put yourself around put yourself around people you want to act like.
Surround yourself with people that
Make
do
good
what they're
choices.
supposed to do. Exactly. Yep.
Okay. What is your favorite thing to do outside of school?
My favorite thing to do outside of school is play golf, because I'm too old and I'm too big and my bones hurt even right now today to do anything else. So I like to play golf and hang out with my family and my friends.
I want to say, what is one big goal you want to have for this school?
The big goal that I have for this school, one is to see our TCAP scores go up. Right, I want to see you guys perform well in the classroom. I not only do that, but perform in life. Right, I want to see you guys do well, act right, but that carries over into your academics, and I want to see you guys do well and see everybody improve on their TCAP scores.
Why did you ever move from teaching to be a principal at Harding County Middle School?
It's one of those things where you always want to grow, right? You always want to try to grow and achieve and do things. And I had an opportunity, to apply for this job, not knowing if I was going to get it or not. And luckily I did. And that's one thing I've always wanted to do, was be from a coach, assistant coach, to a head coach, to a teacher. I've always wanted those responsibilities, and that's what I've always kind of strived and wanted to do. And it's the competitiveness comes out in me, right? I'm a super competitive person, and so that just always has kind of driven me to do better for myself and my family.
Yeah, that's
Staying 2 steps ahead.
yeah.
Try to, right? You got to.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
All right.
So, what's one of your hidden talents?
A hidden talent,
yeah,
man.
like singing.
So a hidden talent that I have is I am a very good singer.
You wanna sing a song real quick?
That's why it's a hidden talent, right?
That's
only people really, really close to me know that I can sing, and I can mimic voices too. I can talk like you guys.
Do it.
Again, it's a hidden talent, right? Yeah,
Wow,
I can talk like people.
I can
I
only
see
do
how it
Mickey
is.
Mouse. That's the only one I can do.
Mickey Mouse. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear your Mickey Mouse.
That's also a hidden.
See,
I,
that's it.
I think I could do one voice, but like, I don't know,
See, like he's talking, he can only do one voice, right?
my own voice.
Well, you got to
See?
try to get better at it.
That's right.
Oh, it's Mickey Mouse.
See, there you go.
Not really good.
That's right.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory, man. Y'all got to give me a list of these questions so I can be thinking on it. It's on the spot.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. My favorite childhood memory. Man, that's some good ones. My favorite childhood memory. Man, y'all put a person on the spot. I would have to say my favorite overall childhood memory. I was 13. I was 13 years old, and we played. Back then, it's a little different than you guys are now, and how y'all played ball and stuff. But we didn't have a middle school team. We had a 13 and 14-year-old league actually. And anyway, we had the all-star team, and we got to go play at Redbird Stadium on the turf. And as a kid, man, growing up, that was pretty awesome to be able to go do that. Probably another memory that I have was being able to go to Knoxville for the first time.
That's
And
big.
go
That's
see
big.
the Vols run through the tee, and see now I'm thinking about what all I got to do. I also got to go down on the field one time when Peyton Manning, Marcus Nash, and those guys were at Tennessee, and I got to go in the locker room, and I had a hat on. They passed my hat around the locker room. They all signed it. So I got Peyton Manning and
That's special.
Marcus Nash, Joey Kent, all those guys that played for Tennessee in 90. That was 95, 96, so I was about 10. I got all their autographs.
What do you think about Tennessee being third in the SEC right now?
I think it's awesome, right? I think they're
Yes.
really good. I hear people complaining sometimes about our offense, but I look at it as, we got one of the best defenses in the country. And,
Yes.
we make some really good plays on the outside. We got one of the best rushers in the nation in Dylan Sampson. And, you can run the football, you can play good defense and make big plays when you have to. That's why we're, ranked where we are. And, I got a good feeling we fixing to wear Mississippi State out and then go down to Georgia in between the hedges and wear them out too.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping.
I'm glad we beat Kentucky, too.
Absolutely.
That Alabama game, both teams, they fought hard.
They did.
Uh,
I remember I remember back in the day when that game it's still the very biggest game in the Southeastern Conference, but that was before Nick Saban and Alabama's dynasty, right?
Yeah.
And Alabama and Tennessee, they had battles and went back and forth. And I remember Tennessee beating Alabama
ripping
3 or
down
4
field
years in a
goals.
row. And, I remember those days, right? Those Alabama fans have short-term memories sometimes, but I remember those days, right? And obviously Saban went on his run, but he's not there anymore, and you see what happens, right?
Saban was a good coach.
He
for
was.
them.
He's probably the best to ever do it, and it pains my soul to play it or to say that, but he is. He is.
If you want to, we can go ahead and let Vaughn hit some jokes real quick. He
All
said
right,
he
Vaughn,
has
you got some jokes.
for us.
What's your jokes, Vaughn? Let me hear 'em.
All right.
All right. What did the duck say to the egg?
What'd the duck say to the egg? I don't know.
Stop. Stop quacking.
I like the soundboard there. That's pretty good.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Because he wanted to get away.
What was he running from?
The owner.
He
He didn't want to be chicken. He didn't want to be dinner.
didn't want to be cut up.
He
Little
didn't
yeah.
want them intestines cut out.
I got you.
All right. Why did what says, what do the computer like to eat?
What's that?
Chips.
I got you. That's a good one. Did you come up with those? All right.
first two.
The first two. I got you.
The rest out.
We want to.
Let's start talking about the NFL, boys.
Yesterday we didn't get to do our podcast because this is our first time actually doing the
Okay.
podcast.
It's our
Yeah.
first ever recording.
I got you.
And yesterday we just kind of had a little talk through and had to get through on how to do everything.
Right.
And we want to talk about how some of the college games went
Yep.
Yeah.
last
Mhm.
Saturday.
Yeah, there was some upsets there. You had
Yeah, definitely. Upset.
Ohio State, squeaked one out against
Yeah.
Penn State.
That's actually surprising.
Yeah, that one.
Games coming up is the Jaguars and the Vikings at 12 p.m.
On Thursday.
Sunday,
Yeah, on
November
Thursday.
10th.
That's right. You know who else is doing really well right now in the NFL? It's
So-
my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh
Alright.
Steelers are kind of doing
I
good.
miss Ben Roethlisberger.
That's the old Ben Roethlisberger. That's
Oh,
right.
man.
Patriots are just down bad this year.
Yeah, the Patriots are down. They've been down for a couple of years.
Ever since they lost Tom Brady.
That's the most important position in sports, period, as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He sure was one good old man. I didn't
He
like
was
I
good.
didn't like him that much, but he was good for
I
how
didn't-
old he was.
I didn't
Yeah.
either. I didn't either. That's right.
So who y'all think is gonna win the Super Bowl?
The way the Kansas City Chiefs are playing, they're 8-0.
Yes, they always
They
do.
Beat Tampa 24-30.
Yep. When's the last time in NFL history that a team went undefeated and won the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Does anybody know?
That was like,
Don't be looking it up. No cheating.
that was.
I can't
While
recall
ago.
that.
Definitely not the Titans.
I think it was.
Titans
Was-
have not been
wasn't it
good
the
in
Jets?
years.
It wasn't the Jets.
Well, I know the Cowboys. It definitely ain't the Cowboys.
It wasn't the Cowboys. It's a good guess, though.
It might have been the
Pittsburgh.
Patriots, actually.
It wasn't the Pittsburgh. It wasn't the Steelers either.
Was it the Patriots?
Nope. It was
Seahawks, they were pretty good.
Seahawks were good. It was the 1972 Dolphins. It was the last
I remember
team
that.
It was
to
the
go
Dolphins?
undefeated
My dad told me
and win
about
the
that.
Super Bowl.
So it was the Dolphins.
Don Shula was the head coach.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Their quarterback got hurt not too long ago.
Who's that?
Tua.
He did. He did too.
Had a
He did.
concussion.
He had a concussion. He got knocked out. They had to, go
Knock-
back and reevaluate. He's back playing though. Yeah,
That,
so.
kind
They
of set a little
lost
knockback for Tyreek
on
Hill.
Sunday.
Right there.
It was. It was. And you got nobody to get Tyreek Hill the ball. He's not going. The cheetah can't run without the ball. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, I got a question. So, when you was like teaching and stuff,
Mhm.
when people ask a question and you tell them the question, and they get that, do you like to get that? Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, that light bulb, man. That's what we call it. Light bulb going off. Yeah, absolutely. We like that. That's why. That's when I said earlier. That's, one of the biggest things that that we see, and Miss Nix can back me up on this too. Is, when we see you guys get something and understand something that we have been kind of preaching at you and teaching at you for the last few days or months or however long, and you guys have that light bulb moment. That means so much more to us than you guys ever realize. You just don't. You guys don't. I mean, it's hard to explain, right? It's hard to put in words when we see you guys succeed, and when you've been struggling with something, and then it clicks for you, and then that's why we do what we do, right? It's
I also
it's a
want
good
to
thing to
add
see.
something in here about like all the principals and up there working
Mhm.
up everything with like the tiger stuff and
Right.
everything. Talking about like how all the teachers were dressing up like I don't know how many weeks ago it was. Y'all was all wearing
Last
black
week.
on some days,
Yeah.
and trying to
Drinking
confuse
out of random
us.
cups.
And
Drinking out of a
Somebody was
gas.
I don't know what are y'all talking about.
Somebody was drinking out of the gas.
Yeah, that was Mr. Wilkerson.
Gas
Oh.
can.
I
So-
don't. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know.
I got
wore
another
plaid
question for
one
you.
day.
well, there was a bunch of teachers
Yeah.
doing
Yes, you was.
funny stuff.
I mean, we just got up and came to school. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're
I
talking
got another
about.
question for you, by the way.
Okay.
So when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a child, I always wanted to be a vet. I grew up around
Like a
animals.
veterinarian?
I grew up riding horses. I had dogs and cats and had sheep and goats and stuff as a kid. And I live out in the country, so I had those things. And so I always wanted to grow up to be a vet. And but then, like I said, a lot of my family's in education, so that's kind of the route I took. And being able to be involved with sports and athletics was a way for me to teach and enjoy kind of best of both worlds.
I got another question.
We'll go ahead.
Is it-
Bo.
Is it true that y'all have a studio in high school?
Yeah, we've got a studio up there. You go in
Tiger Radio.
Mr. Spencer Gerald's class, and you go Tiger Radio, and you get to be on the radio and go on air. They do podcasts up there too. So
Okay.
yeah, they get to play music and all that good stuff. They got a little booth right there, so when you come in, like of a mornings, and they're doing Tiger Radio, they got a big cutout so you can stand there and watch people that's on the radio doing stuff.
But do you get to like physically rap and sing in there?
I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to.
I think you gotta join like the band to sing.
They got,
and
they got wired
stuff like
and
that. Yeah.
things like
Yeah,
that they
wired
can
would
do.
be good if you want to start
Yeah.
singing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
So what do you have to do to get on the Tiger Radio in high school? Like,
You have to try out. You have.
to try out?
I don't think you can be on there till you're a sophomore, maybe when you start to try out.
that sucks.
And you'll go through an interview process and all that good stuff. And Mr. Gerald's, he looks at grades, he looks at your attendance, he looks at your discipline if you've been in trouble. All that stuff kind of plays a factor in. And then, can you get on the radio and can you talk?
mm,
Right? Because sometimes it's can be intimidating.
Yeah.
Right? And
'cause
so
there's going to be a lot of people hearing your voice. On
that's
that
right.
radio.
And so, you got to be able to get on there and kind of communicate and talk, but then also, behind the scenes stuff too. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that are in Tiger Radio that don't actually get on there, but
Yeah,
they're a
they're
part of
like
it and help put
scene
it together.
directors.
Yeah.
the scene director.
But you
I don't
gotta
know.
do
Yep.
what you're supposed to do.
I want to ask, like you said about horses and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to ask, like, kind of horses did you have? Did you do any rodeoing, anything?
Didn't
like
do
that?
any rodeoing. We showed Tennessee walking horses, spotted saddle horses. Now I would go on the weekends. A lot of times I would go on these long trail rides, and we would camp and get up and ride and do things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
See, like me on the weekends, I go on horse rides,
Yeah.
and I have a Mustang,
Yeah,
and it's a little new.
Yeah.
I have to teach her everything.
yeah,
It's a new
That's
thing
right.
every weekend,
it is.
and like I practicing on going on rodeos, bull riding, whatever,
Okay.
and team roping and such. But
Yeah.
we got a pair of mules,
Yeah.
and we got a Belgian horse that my dad just bought. He's
Okay.
he's a little stud, and he said he's gonna buy the mate to that one not
Yeah.
too soon. And we do logging, and we
Yeah. You use those Belgians to pull logs.
yeah,
Yeah.
we use the Belgians and the mules,
And
but
the
our
mules
mules
pull.
are getting old,
Yeah.
so we got to use the big Belgians.
You like I like riding mules, man. They're some of the smartest creatures on the face of the earth. A lot better than a horse,
Yes,
and people don't believe it with it.
they might not be fast, but they might not be smooth, but they
That's
will
right.
truck along
That's
all
right.
day.
That's right. No, they're good animals. Mules are good animals.
Yes, my dad, I think he went on a 20-hour ride on one of his.
Really? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We used to go on those. We would go to Chickasaw, and they had trails and stuff. We would go up there and stay, and we'd go on those trail rides and camp out under the stars, and it was a neat thing to do. That was another good childhood memory of mine.
Having horses and mules is a
Mhm.
big responsibility.
It
and
is.
It's a great thing having them animals.
It sure is. One of the funniest things I've done. I take that back. I did go to a rodeo one time, right? And it's a sheep rodeo. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes.
Where you ride the bucking sheep.
Yes.
Yeah, you done that. Now, that was
Yes.
fun.
As a kid, I rode one, fell off.
Yeah.
Never tried to do that again.
Yeah.
Tell you have something to say.
What are your favorite hobbies?
My favorite hobbies, man. I like to cook. I do enjoy cooking. I do all the cooking at my house. Don't tell anybody because my wife can't. Don't let this podcast get out. But I play golf. Like I said, I enjoy being outside. I love to metal detect. I like going to old homesteads and finding things. So I metal detect, find old roads. I've got all the old schools that were in the county that out like kind of in Burnt Church and Olive Hill, and I've got their coordinates, and I've searched their school grounds and stuff and found coins and things like that where those schools used to be. And I know it's just one of those hobbies that I like metal detecting. It's neat to do.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment, probably, of all the things that I've done, in athletics and being involved with that, and probably my best accomplishment, though, was, take that back, right, was marrying my wife, right, and finding her and able to hang on to her and have a family and start a family with 2 great kids, and that's probably my best accomplishment. It is my best. It's not probably, it is, even though she can't cook. Right. But that's what it is. No.
So
Well,
like,
You
What-
figure marrying a woman, you'd want one that's cooking, but
That's true. That's
sometimes
true.
you gotta take responsibility yourself. and cook
That's
yourself.
right. That's right. There's an old saying that I've heard, and I was told this a long time ago, and it kind of stuck with me. Is when somebody says that that's not my job, is wrong. Right? Everybody's. I mean, like you guys walking by and you see trash in the floor, or you see, pick up the trash and throw it away.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like it. Even though technically it is not your job to do that, but
Yeah.
is it the right thing to do?
Yes.
So
Yes.
It's gonna be helpful.
So like,
that's right.
yeah. So like, what happens in high school, like with culinary arts, if you go to that class?
So culinary arts, you'll learn to cook,
Well, yeah, I know that,
and you'll get to serve. So they'll you guys will prepare like lunch and stuff, like once a week for teachers or once a day for teachers. They'll invite people to come in, and you'll be able to cook for them around the community and learn how to like work in a restaurant type setting. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what grade do you have to be to get in?
I think you start that your sophomore, junior year when you'll be able to do that.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good podcast. We're fixing out to wrap up soon. I want everybody's got to say. Yeah, and I want to say thanks to
Coach Arendall
for coming.
Yeah, guys. Hey, and I love to do this again. We'll come down. We'll talk it up. We'll make it. And yeah, I love doing this. I've always wanted to do a podcast anyway.
And everybody say sign out to the broadcast.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming. This is Kaileb.
Thank you for coming. This is A.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed it.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
This was a good podcast.